All right, we welcome everybody into another edition of the Stingers Up Sacramento State Football Podcast. Jason Ross here with the head coach, Brennan Marion, coming off a victory. I mean, look, I know you got expectations. You want to win every game, but coming off a victory, does that any different mood going into the week for practice for this week?
No, we reset on every week, right? That's a new opportunity, new challenge, new team. So we've stuck to our habits, been really consistent and disciplined on making sure we're, hard on the guys. We treat every day, every game the same way. It's a nameless, faceless opponent, and we have to do our job and get our circle right. And our coaches have done a really good job this week in making sure that our preparation's been where it needs to be to put on a great performance on Saturday.
So when you lose, it's probably easier to show film and go through things. Hey, this is where we need to improve. Last week you win, you checked a lot of boxes. You want to run over 300 yards. You want to hold the opponent to less than 100. You did that. But I'm sure there's things you need to clean up. How do you balance the praise of the things you did well to win, but also cleaning up the things that will get you better every week?
Yeah, typically after a loss, I'm a less, hard on the guys from the standpoint of when you lose, everybody sees that you lost and you have a lot of burden and pressure and, just you beat yourself up a lot more after a loss. On a win, I'm typically harder on the guys.
Interesting.
From the standpoint of, there's still a lot of things. No one played a perfect game. We strive for perfection, but no one played a perfect game. There's a lot of things that we missed, a lot of things that we didn't do well. And so we really hit those things. And then we're even more disciplined on the guys. Did you wear the right equipment? Did you have the right shirt on? Were the socks the right way? I mean, every little detail that we can make sure that we don't lose any of our habits, our consistency, our discipline. And our accountability to being great in our program, we really make sure we hit those, especially after a win, where guys think that they can be loose now because, they have that relief syndrome. Really, there's no relief in college football from the standpoint of the relief is when the season is complete and you either hoist up a trophy or you don't, And so for us, we have to make sure week in, week out that we're making sure guys are ready to go and put on great performances when they play.
So when you look back at that game, the win over Mercyhurst, what are those things that you're alluding to that you'd like, okay, this is what needs to get better?
Yeah, we had a turnover on offense. We can't put the ball on the ground. We missed probably 2 to 3 wide open touchdowns where our quarterback decided to scramble in a circle for no reason. We missed some run. We got tackled easy in space a couple times. A couple of our running backs didn't get their knees up, didn't use a stiff arm. I thought we left some yards out there on the ground. I thought our O-line played a pretty clean game from the standpoint of in the run game and in the pass game. We gave up 0 sacks. And I thought that, because they played so clean that game, the quarterback wasn't used to that. He wasn't used to not having to run because we actually protected a lot better. And so that we have to be consistent with that so the quarterback can be consistent with his footwork. And, hit open receivers for us down the field. Yeah. On the defensive side of the ball, really was our worst game on defense throughout this year. We've done a really good job of keeping teams, keeping the points low. Mercyhurst had a good game plan for us passing the ball. They weren't able to run it. They had maybe 1 to 2 explosive runs, which I thought was really good from our defense from that standpoint. But our man-to-man coverage wasn't as sticky as it's been. And their quarterback did a really good job of placing the ball in spots. I thought they had a really good quarterback from a drop back passer standpoint. He did a really good job of throwing it to covered receivers, which a lot of college quarterbacks don't have the confidence to do that. So, hats off to them there, but we've got to be better at our man coverage and eliminating the explosive passes. And we didn't do that. So there was a lot of things that you look at in the film room, even in a win where we could have played a lot better. And then, they hurt us on a couple little gadget gimmick type plays, bursting out of a huddle fast and getting us to jump off sides and going for 2 with a different wildcat formation that we hadn't seen. So many things to clean up. And then, there were some sideline issues from guys pouting or whatever. And we've moved on from certain guys. I told the team this week that we can win by, addition, subtraction, and multiplication. We can't win from division. So if anybody's trying to divide our team, they won't be with our team, or we'll suspend them and whenever they miss our team enough to be a team guy, we'll bring them back. But the only thing that we're in the business of is winning, being consistent, and trying to turn young men into great dads, great husbands, and providers for the family.
Yeah. So does moving on mean off the team or further down the depth chart and reps, that kind of thing?
It can mean all of the above. I mean, we'll do whatever it takes to. No one's bigger than the team. No one's bigger than Sac State football. Not me, the head coach. Not, this is a proud tradition. And so we're going to do what it takes to make sure that we have a great football program here.
Yeah. A week ago, you told me about you liked the adversity you went through at Nevada and had to come back and get that last drive. The touchdowns ultimately didn't count. But in this game, there was some adversity too. The first half wasn't as clean as you wanted. You're trailing at one point. You get the halftime lead, and then you guys kind of found your rhythm. What did you like about that, the game wasn't always smooth for you guys, but the guys kind of responded with a double-digit deficit?
Yeah, I challenged everybody on our sideline, from the coaches, the players, the trainers, everybody, and everybody responded in a positive way in that second half and got it done. And if that's what I have to do, if I have to lose my mind and break headsets and go crazy, I mean, that's what I'll do to make sure that we're a winning program. I mean, at the end of the day, my job is based on the result of what we put out there on the field. And so if I have to look like a crazy man and a psychopath out there for us to win, that's what I'll do. Mm-hmm. I mean, and so I was proud of that, created enough love and trust in this program where I can lose my mind and nobody broke down because of it or quit the team or quit working here because, coach is too hard. They all decided to respond in a positive way because they know that I have a lot of love. And, my only goal of being a point guard of a team or being a head coach is to make sure everybody reaches their goals and dreams and not let people fail. So I think people respect that, know that about me, and they responded in a way where we went out and got the W.
All right, next up, and on to the next. You guys have been prepping for Central Arkansas. They're 1-2 as well. When you look at them, they've had a tough schedule. Tarleton's really good, obviously playing Missouri. What do you see when you see the Bears?
Yeah, I think they have an explosive run game. They can hurt you with the quarterback running and the running back running, number 0 and number 5 at quarterback. They do a really good job of running the zone read and doing different things, quarterback draw, dropping people down the field, and number 5 can go make a play, power read. So we have to be really cognizant of that and make sure that we stop the run. They have 2 receivers on the outside that can go make, contested catches, vertical down the field, some guys with some speed. Obviously, being a Southern team, they're going to have speed on their team. And then, defensively, they run around, fly around, make plays. They have a good front 7 where those guys have some experience together playing hard. And they get after you a little bit. They have some safeties that'll come downhill and hit you. I think they have a really good coaching staff, a really good scheme. It's exactly what we need. It's exactly the game that we need right now, and it'll be another tough challenge on Saturday.
Watching them, is there any similarities with their quarterback, Richardson, to Purdy? Is there similarities there with him at Nevada?
Yeah, I mean, they both can hurt you with their legs. Uh-huh. That's kind of how they want to play the game. Is they're more confident tucking it down and running than they are, being a drop back passer, going through every read, reading full progressions and, playing the game that way. But they also have enough arm talent to hurt you as far as throwing the ball as well. So it'll definitely be a challenge for our defense. I thought we did a really good job with Purdy. And even, Chase Mason in the first game, I thought we did a really good job with him, with guys that are true, dual threat quarterbacks. So I'm excited for the matchup this week.
Was that the blueprint of how your run game is going to look? Because you had multiple guys run effectively, get in the end zone, 6, 7 runners, Cardell as well. Is that kind of your vision of this squad?
Yeah, I think it really started at Reno. I thought we really got our confidence up at Reno because they had a really good defensive line. That was the strength of their team, and we were able to run the ball there. Obviously, they took some plays back that would have put us over 200 yards rushing in that game. And then, obviously when we're playing an opponent where we're kind of similar in stature and we match up, we did a really good job of making those explosive runs. I still challenged our running backs to break more tackles. I think we get tackled too easy, even though we have talented runners. Mm-hmm. I think they know that the challenge is out there for me. Like, I've seen, like a guy like Rodney Hammond run through Clemson's defense and run through Virginia and Miami and play in games as a freshman and break 3 and 4 tackles. So I expect the same thing here from him. Some of these guys get comfortable, and they got to stay hungry and fight for those hard yards. And that's been my challenge to those guys all week, to make sure we can break tackles and be explosive when the line opens up holes the way that they did on Saturday.
All right, last one for you. Kind of like this schedule as far as 3 in a row at home, hopefully getting a little rhythm in front of the home fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the president, the athletic director, our school, our fans, our community has done a great job of creating a great atmosphere for these guys. The Hornet Walk, the band, the cheerleaders, the way the school and the community's coming out for our guys right now. I mean, this is a big time college football environment. I've played at San Jose State, San Diego State, played at, the Mountain West schools, and we have that same type of environment or better than a lot of those schools. And so there's a really good environment for our players here to go put on a show and be in front of a crowd that's excited to see them play. There's concerts going on. I mean, there's all types of stuff where you really have no excuse to not say that you're playing big time ball.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to watch you guys. Coach, best of luck this week.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Stingers up.
All right, I hope you enjoyed our conversation with head coach Brennan Marion as the Hornets get ready for another home game against Central Arkansas, and they're going to have to try to run the ball, like Coach said, but they're going to need to maybe like block guys like this or block 4 guys that can run the ball. Guy's a big dude, arms like me, or arms like Meek, Aidan Meek. I had a chance to sit down with senior offensive lineman Aidan Meek. I think you'll enjoy this conversation. All right, now we're sitting down with senior offensive lineman Aidan Meek. Aidan, thanks for being here. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just another day in the life. How about you?
I'm good. Another day in the life. Let's see. A student athlete, still going to school even though you graduated. What are you working on now?
I'm working on a kinesiology degree, just, trying to get some classes through just to be eligible for football. But, just in case I want to come back to school later on to maybe get another degree in kinesiology.
But a day in the life, I don't think people realize how much work you guys put in. It's a game week, but what's a typical day for you?
I'd say Monday through Thursday is usually pretty consistent for me. Usually wake up about 5 a.m. and then get to the facility at about like 5:40. And then we have a hydration test and we have mobility in the morning before meetings, and meetings usually start at 7. And then those go for about an hour, and we have to be on the field by 8:15. And then practice usually goes till about 11. And then after practice, it's, hop in the cold tub, do treatment, or, some days we'll have a lift. Like today we had a lift. And then, some days I'll have classes, and then I'll have a unit meeting with the offensive line, and then we'll have dinner pickup here. And then usually I get home about 6 o'clock every day.
And then rinse and repeat.
Yep, same thing next day.
What if it's on the schedule, which you guys have a lot of things that are repetitive, but if you're like, I hate that drill, or I hate lift, or is there something you're like, man, we're doing this today that you dread?
It's all just work at the end of the day, but I probably dread PAT the most just because it's the toughest 2 seconds in football.
Really?
For sure.
Yeah.
But, I'd say that just because the last years that I've been here, we've never done live reps really of PAT in practice. So now it's just to switch up really. And, once after the first rep and you get a feel for it a little bit, it's not that bad. But, it's definitely the toughest 2 seconds in football in the trenches on PAT, I'd say.
So what makes that so tough?
Just because when you're on the O-line for it, you're just sitting there and you're taking, a blow from 2 huge D linemen. And, it's easier when you're running at them. And it's like a play. But if you're just sitting there and you have to eat it for 2 seconds, this would be an interesting one. This is more of a bigger football question, but like the tush push, they wanted it banned in the NFL. It works every time, but as someone that has to be on that part of that, if you guys run that, yay or nay, do you like that play? Oh, I would love to run that play. I'd run that play every time. It'd get us first down.
Yeah.
We wouldn't average 1 yard.
It's unstoppable.
Play. Yeah.
Yeah. But is it unfair?
I don't think so. I think, if it's part of the game, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
Just because it works so well, it doesn't mean that it should be banned from the game.
Yeah.
Teams have tried to, do false starts, or, that Eagles O-line is just so good. And, Jalen Hurts squatting like 600 pounds definitely helps too.
Yeah.
So, if it works, it works. I think it's the right for them to use it.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about your journey to get here. You have a unique story as far as living here, but you also lived in the Middle East, correct? Like, you tell us your background of how you even got to Sacramento State.
Yeah, so my dad works for Chevron, and so I moved around a lot growing up. I was born down in Bakersfield, California, and lived there for a little bit, then moved to Houston, Texas, which is where my family currently lives. And then after Houston, we moved to Kazakhstan.
Wow.
Which, we lived out there for about four and a half years, I think.
What was that like?
It was different for sure. You know, the main language there over there was Russian, so had to learn that.
Are you fluent?
Nah, I know a little bit still.
Okay.
Definitely forgot most of it, but you know, luckily the people over there were pretty, because English is like the main language around the world. I feel like and it's just so common, and like a lot of tourists are usually speaking English, so. You know, over there, they'd make it pretty easy to understand English, luckily. So, and over there, there's no football. So, you know, it's just playing rugby and football or soccer.
Yeah.
Over there, they called it football. But yeah, it was a cool experience for sure. Definitely got to see the world and travel places that I never thought I'd be able to travel. And yeah, my dad loved traveling as well. My whole family did, and we enjoyed it for sure.
So when did football then happen? How did you get involved in that?
So when I moved back to Bakersfield after Kazakhstan, I wasn't the biggest fan of football. I was more of a baseball guy. Loved baseball. And so I played football my 7th grade year. That's when we moved back to the U.S. And 7th grade, I was playing. I was like the 5th string wide receiver on the team.
You were the wide receiver.
Yeah, I was. They used me as like a blocking wide receiver. It was like a dummy, but you know, I was playing football and enjoying it. And then my 8th grade year, I told my parents like, I don't like football. I want to quit. And so I did, and I didn't play at all my 8th grade year. And then I go to high school, and my dad is just like, you know, give football one more shot. You know, if you don't like it after this year, then, you know, you can stop playing, but give it one more shot. So I gave it one more shot, and I ended up really enjoying it. And then I'd say my sophomore season is when I really fell in love with the game and just wanted to really push to play in college, because that year I had so much fun with the team, and we were just enjoying ourselves. And, you know, I think that's when I play my best as well, is when I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
And so then, and then my senior year, COVID happened. So it was a bit of a struggle with recruiting, but luckily Coach Rich, who's still my O-line coach today, he gave me my only scholarship offer to Sac State, and here I am. Wouldn't change it for the world.
I don't know if you can remember back then what the trigger was, because if you were noticeably, you knew that you didn't like football. Then you did, whether it was your own success, the team success. You mentioned having fun. Like what do you think brought the love back, or brought the love to football for you?
I think it was just the camaraderie that was within the team, and like the guys that I was around. It was just so enjoyable. We were having fun with each other on and off the field. We were scoring a lot of points. I was on JV my sophomore year though. But you know, we were just having fun, and our coaches were letting us have fun, and we were winning. I think we went like 7-3. We didn't go 10-0, but you know, we were still winning games, but you know, we were scoring points. And I just enjoyed every single second of it with the guys, and yeah, it was a good time.
When did the transition go from 5th wide receiver to college football lineman?
Well, I'd say probably my sophomore year is when I was like, okay, I'm going to be an O-lineman, because my freshman year I was about 180, like 6'4", 180. Ooh. And so I was pretty skinny. Yeah. And I think I was playing O-line and linebacker. Okay. But I don't think I was starting on the O-line. I think I was mainly just playing linebacker. And then that summer, like the off season, I had started to eat a lot more and start putting on that weight. Yeah. And I probably gained I gained like 80 pounds. I got like up to like 250 or 260. Okay. And so, and then my dad played offensive line in college. He played at the University of Idaho. Okay. And so, and he always encouraged me to play O-line, because he was like, that's where all the fun is. And he was right. That is where all the fun is.
Why is that? What's fun about being an O-lineman?
Just getting toss dudes around and, move people against their will.
Yeah.
And then scoring touchdowns, having fun with the other O-line guys. Usually the big guys are the funny guys too.
Yeah.
So it keeps things light for sure.
Are you the light of the locker room?
I say we got a bunch of different characters in the O-line group for sure. Jose, he's a funny dude. Sawyer Hayes, he's a funny dude. You got Dean, Kendall, Richard.
You got a good group.
Just the whole group, really. Like I just mentioned a few names, but you could say the whole group for sure.
More satisfaction for you to run block, pass block, pancake. I mean, what's you could draw up a perfect play. What's like, what do you dream of?
I love some guard tackle counter.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite play, getting to pull around and look for somebody to hit.
You see it in their eyes.
Yeah, just look them in their eyes as you're hitting. But yeah, I'd say that's probably my favorite play to run is guard tackle counter.
Mm-hmm.
I also love inside. I like running the ball more for sure.
Yeah.
Passing the ball is fun too, but I like just running the ball all the way.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you guys don't technically get the stats, but people know it's holding. You don't want that, but when you run for 300 plus, like you guys did last week, how rewarding is that game post game when you're like, a lot of guys had success. You were a huge part of it. What's that scene like after a game like that?
It definitely feels really nice to, look at the stat sheet and see 0 sacks and 300 plus rushing yards in a game like that. And, the O-line knows that we're not going to get any credit for it, and we're fine with that. We're just there for having fun and, running for 300 rushing yards. And, it definitely feels really good. We're hoping to do that again, especially after the first 2 weeks we had. The O-line definitely wasn't happy with how we were playing across the board, like especially with myself. I wasn't happy with how I was playing. So that was a really good game to bounce back and the O-line to play really well. And we're looking to ride off of that and keep it going the rest of the year for sure.
A lot of games left, but when it ends for you, what's next? More football?
Oh yeah, hopefully. Yeah. That's the goal for sure. I want to play football for as long as I can. So we'll see how the rest of this year goes and hopefully make a push for the next level.
Follow the Jackson Slater path?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You stay in contact with him, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. I talk to him every day. Me, him, and an old offensive lineman, Tyler Perez.
Oh yeah.
We're all good buddies and we like going to see movies together and just talking about what's going on in the world. But yeah, he's doing good down over in Tennessee. He's enjoying it for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know. Last thing for you. What's kind of the dream? You've seen a lot of success. You've been a part of a lot of it here. How would you write the script for your final season?
We win the rest of our games and make the playoffs, win the Big Sky Championship, make the playoffs, and go on to win the national championship.
Yeah. It's all still in front of you. Mm-hmm. It can happen.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Aidan. Best of luck this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's another edition of the Stingers Up. I missed that one. Sacramento State football podcast. My thanks again to Coach Marion, also to Aidan Meek, who's going to be blocking big guys all weekend long. They got the home game this weekend against Central Arkansas. Remind everybody you can find this podcast, whether it's the audio version or this one, the video version, on YouTube. I got to make one of these. All right, see, look, I went 3 for 3 or 0 for 3. It depends. That's the beauty, I should say, of editing. They all went in. It'll be Sacramento State and Central Arkansas this week. Thank you so much for watching us. Check us out again next week for another edition of the Stingers Up Sacramento State Football Podcast.